So we're talking today with Mr. Terry Ketchel. Mr. Ketchel, you are a candidate for the circuit judge slot coming up here in the primary elections. And let's talk about the job itself. What does this job entail? Why should voters care who gets into this job?
Well, first of all, this is a circuit position, circuit judge. And the difference between the circuit and the county judges is the circuit judges handle the most complex cases. And so we handle a wide variety of cases, all the way from complex civil cases to criminal and an awful lot of family law. As a matter of fact, over half of the family law cases over half the cases in the circuit court are family law cases. And that's what the position that I do. I'm the current circuit judge in Okaloosa County in Group 15. And I've been in that since August, election in November of 2006. I took office in January of 2007. So I'll be completing my first 6-year term. And the key thing about the circuit level is that it is a very complex, and it really requires a great deal of diverse experience as a lawyer and as a judge.
Again, you are currently the incumbent in the position.
Correct.
What made you decide to run for office again?
Well, I think for me, the main reason for me running for office is that it allows me to serve my community in a broader sense. As a lawyer, I served my clients. I was an advocate for my clients. As a judge, you represent the broader community. And so that's what is really a passion for me, is public service. In the last 6 years, I've been spending, or in the last couple of years, I've handled all the different areas in the circuit bench. But I've been handling and focusing on a unified family court. I'm the first unified family court in Okaloosa County, where you have one judge for one family. So families that have multiple areas where they're involved with the court system can have one judge. So we can make a better decision and make it more efficient. So I have a real passion for families and for children, because the children are tremendously and most directly and adversely affected by court decisions. And we see that day in and day out in my job.
What kind of major challenges do you see in the next few years on the horizon with this position?
Well, one of the ongoing challenge that we face in the court system is really the same challenge that many of the government agencies, and that is doing more with less. There's a greater caseload, but we have fewer staff. And so really working to be efficient, and that's why I'm so happy to have been able to bring in the Unified Family Court, because it allows us to more efficiently and better serve our families. We've also instituted a model dependency court. The model dependency court, dependency is those cases that are involving the abuse, abandonment, or neglect of children. Very difficult cases. And we've developed a model dependency court in order to try to bring best practices. Again, let's become more efficient. We've also brought a truancy pilot program to North Okaloosa County to try to address this very difficult. Again, one of the strands that you see throughout all of these is that each one of these areas of the law have a dramatic impact on the children. And that's the same with divorce. And so by having a more efficient system, we'll be able to really better serve these. But the crush of cases, that is the real challenge we have, because each family deserves their day in court. To be able to get their disputes, and that's what we're dealing with here, is disputes resolved fairly and impartially. And that's the great challenge, to try and do it efficiently. That to me is one of the great challenges of our court system at this point.
If you could tell voters what makes you uniquely qualified, why should they vote for you?
Well, I think the key element of any circuit, the beginning point for a circuit judge, is a broad and deep background and experience. Prior to being a circuit judge, for 19 years I was a commercial litigator. Did a lot of complex commercial litigation. When you talk about what is a circuit judge, I often describe the old westerns, where the judges would go from town to town around the circuit in order to try to have trials. And that's what we do here. We have a broad circuit, which is why the electors go all the way from Walton County all the way to Escambia, north to south. That's the first judicial circuit that will be the voters. That's why I sit in Okaloosa County, but yet the voters in Santa Rosa will be very important in this election, and I might be transferred to Santa Rosa County as a part of the circuit. So, what we are trying to do at this point is to try to really bring the broadest breadth of experience. And for 19 years I was a commercial litigator. I served for a while as a legislative assistant in Washington. But for the last 6 years, I've focused on all the different areas. I've been involved with criminal law and civil law, as well as all the main areas in the family law area. I've tried over 500 trials and handled over 10,000 cases. But for me, the breadth of experience is the most important thing that you have. It's a fundamental requirement. I've been a practicing lawyer for 28 years, and that's the main difference between myself and my opponent.
Terry Ketchel, current incumbent and candidate again for our circuit judge. We thank you so much for talking to us today.